Jennifer Smith and Adam Cross from the City of Dallas with the development of City of Dallas LID standard details and incorporation into a local project.
Thank you for the introduction. Again, we're with a local, or not local here, but local to the City of Dallas, a private consulting firm. And we coordinated with Reese & Nichols, another design consulting civil engineering firm, to develop 8 low-impact development standard construction details for the City of Dallas. So as you can imagine, this is first of its kind in North Texas. It's not very common in our region, so we used a lot of collaboration. We met with all of the City of Dallas departments that care about what's going on in the public right-of-way. So there's stormwater management, there's Public Works, and the bike department. And so we also talked to other civil engineering firms and other agencies in the area about what worked for them, what didn't work in previous projects, any lessons learned. What was really important, we found, was having one-on-one meetings and discussions with City of Dallas project managers so that we could discuss with them what kind of information that there was lacking in previous projects from their consultants, so that when we put together these design details, we're not just putting in, line work. We're giving the designer guidelines, we're giving minimum, maximum dimensions, requirements for consultants to include in the plan, so that the plan reviewers know that all the content is there and they can verify it's correct, or if there's something they want to change about the design, the framework is already there and set. So we, after a 2-hour meeting of both Hayden consultants, Reese & Nichols, and then multiple City of Dallas departments, we just decided on 8 low-impact development standard construction details. I know you can't read them from here. Here you go. So we've got roadside planters with parking and without parking. City of Dallas, as you can imagine, has highly urbanized areas where there's very minimal sidewalk areas, so we try to accommodate any kind of right-of-way widths. We also have curb bump outs for corner and mid-block areas. That allows for traffic calming techniques, but also rain gardens. And then we also have a median bioswale. We all know and love those. We also have enhanced vegetated swale that fits in a smaller right-of-way width area. And we also have tree box filters, single and in series. These are really great for retrofit. Our design guidelines recommended either 4x4, 6x6, or 8x8 box. And so when you design these systems, you can also identify how much stormwater you can collect and convey. We added a public signage detail. It's not technical, but we wanted to add in this educational component and include that framework there for future consultants to be able to refer to this detail and include an educational component in a typically more technical design. So for the detailed development, as I said, it's not just line work. We included detailed plan, profile, and section views for every single design element. We also included design components. Design components include stormwater entrances and exits, also overflow inlets. The City of Dallas requires that we have overflow structures for all of our lift facilities to ensure that we get our stormwater filtered and treated, but then the additional water gets taken off-site so we can mitigate some flooding issues. And then the design guidelines that I discussed earlier. So this is a living document and we're always improving it, and Adam will talk about that some more.
Yeah, definitely. So the biggest challenge we really faced with these details was unfamiliarity. Low-impact development is relatively new to North Texas, so not only educating the public, but educating our client, the City of Dallas. So we had 2 different training sessions, one specifically geared towards the engineers, plan reviewers, anybody who's involved in the technical aspect, and another separate one for the inspectors, the maintenance crews. How are they what are they looking for during construction, and what are they looking for during O&M? As part of that, we also distributed a maintenance protocol, maintenance checklist, and an inspection checklist. Erosion control is a really big deal in low-impact developments during construction, so that's something we really focused on during those times. We also have given multiple presentations to ASCE, TFMA, and EPA, as well as the community itself. So there's a project which I'll introduce, Canada Drive. So Canada Drive is kind of our pilot project in which we actually use the standards. So it's one thing to create standard details, it's another one to use your own standard details as they were. So we had a lot of improvements, a lot of lessons learned that we came up with, but as part of the outreach we met with West Dallas Chamber of Commerce, and we also had some meetings with the schools. This particular corridor has 5 different schools. Very high pedestrian traffic, traffic queues was a big deal in addition to stormwater quality. The project is actually right next to Trinity River, so it's a kind of unique opportunity as water is discharging directly into the river itself as opposed to a tributary. So the elements we included were bioswales, corner and mid-block bump outs, rain gardens, permeable grass pavers. We didn't have a detail for that, but it was something we did. We had parallel parking that needed to be maintained, so it was a great alternative to concrete. Our big sell to the city of Dallas was if the grass didn't take, Dallas we can have 4 years of drought and we can have 2 months of rain. It's kind of all over the place. So if the grass just did not take, we could always use gravel. We could always replace it in these diamond-shaped spaces. And we also had underground pipes. The city of Dallas had some lessons learned from the collaboration where some rain gardens failed, so overflow structures were mandated. And that's my own timer. So, so a lot of lessons learned. Details, grading was a huge deal. Rain gardens are not, it's not just roadway grading, it's not 2%, it's not just, plan and profile. You have to grade every single rain garden, every single bioswale. Something we added in there that was not in the details was shelves. So with a rain garden, as opposed to having the slope going right from the back of the curb, right from the gutter elevation to the invert of the swale itself, we actually have like a 6-inch or 1-foot shelf for erosion. As the water's coming in off the road, a lot of high energy, for erosion protection, we actually had a shelf for it to dissipate a little bit, some stream bed cobbles, energy dissipation methods before it went into the swale or rain garden. The end.
Yes, a comment and a question. You may have heard me refer, we're in one of the panels this morning, to the Arid LIE coalition that's forming up again here in the Albuquerque area, Albuquerque Santa Fe area. And one of our objectives is to come up with this, is to come up with some standard details for construction. And I'm wondering if, one, are you willing to share these? Because we could use them. The second thing is, are there elements here that would not make these functional in an arid environment where we only really get 8 inches a year of precipitation? It makes it hard to maintain vegetation between summer events.
So the answer to question one is absolutely, we would love to share them. The city of Dallas hasn't made the details public yet, so we couldn't bring them. But the answer is yes, absolutely. We want the region, we want everyone to take them and provide feedback. And the more people, the better minds, right, and the better decisions, the better implementation. If one area is failing in this, it's detrimental to the entire industry, to the entire approach to this. So the answer is absolutely. The city of Dallas is going through a complete retrofit of all their drainage and paving manuals, along with these details. They're redoing everything as far as their manuals go. So we're expecting them to be released probably in the next couple of months. They've kind of been released on a smaller scale for other projects. And then Jennifer, tackle that question.
So as for the arid region, I think it depends on your plantings, right? So I'm not as familiar with the planting here, and I grew up in Oklahoma and I live in Texas, so I'm used to that kind of rainfall patterns, but we are including temporary irrigation for the establishment period for this Canada Drive project. And then once the plants have been established, then they're drought tolerant and inundation tolerant based on their location within the swales. And so the intent is that they can survive without rainfall. And so those temporary irrigation lines would be abandoned.
Okay, I've seen that, as a strategy before.
Right.
Because you got to get them healthy.
Right, they have to grow up.
Yeah.
I would say, I think yes, they definitely could be used here. Plantings is a real big deal. Your soils are a big deal. You use natural soils, or you can bring in any kind of engineered media. On our biosoils, we're using high flow media just around the overflow inlets. So we're calling it amended soils, so it's natural soils with a little bit of push in there. But absolutely, I think the rain gardens and the biosoils and the bump outs would work. We love the bump outs because they not only serve as a rain garden, but also traffic calming. We have 5 schools in this area, like I said, so lots of foot traffic. So anything to slow the cars down from being crazy Dallas drivers.
Who in Dallas, who are you working with the planning department of the stormwater department?
So stormwater departments, we work with David.
Susan Alvarez. Yeah, she was part of that meeting, the collaboration meeting.
That's your primary.
For that department, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.